Hey, good morning and welcome to the homestead. Happy almost 4th of July. We're getting ready to go to our trip in Pennsylvania, getting the truck ready. One of the things we've wanted for a while is a tire pressure monitoring system for the camper. And because the truck is old enough it doesn't have one either, we went ahead and got one of 8 sensors so we can do the truck as well. We did a bunch of research, Sue did a bunch of research, and we settled on the TST Truck System Technologies 507. And we got the color monitor, and we got 8 caps. You can get feed through caps, you can get regular caps, and then you can actually, I didn't know this at the time, but you can get bands that go on the rim right inside, so you don't even have to deal with it. You just put them inside on the rim, put the tire on. So that's something we may look at in the future next time we change the tires on something, I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to unbox this thing. Well, I guess we've already unboxed it. We're going to kind of show you what comes with it. We're going to get it set up, maybe show you some of the programming. What we did already though, to get a step ahead, is we marked all the sensors with stickers. So we have 1 through 4. I'm going to set them up there for now. And then we have T1 through T4. So that will be truck and trailer. So the single numbers of the truck and T's are the trailer. And what we're going to do, I'm not sure there's a proper way. It really doesn't matter. It's completely up to you, so you remember where they are. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 on the truck and the same on the camper. So driver's side is odd, passenger side is even, yada yada yada. So in the kit you get, of course, your color monitor, you get your charging cable, you get the repeater. So this is important. This goes in the front of the camper, as close to the front as you can, and this will repeat the signal from the camper tires to the truck. You get a glass mount, you get a bunch of stickers so you can label them. You could even get these for the spare tires if you want. You get your wrenches for the sensors, and then you get lock nuts for the sensors, because I understand that if you put these on there tight, it's like an anti-theft thing, that these will turn and not come off. We'll see. You get a cigarette lighter adapter for your power cord, and then you get this thing, which if you don't want to use the suction cup on the window, you can stick this thing in there and just set it on the dash, and it'll ride around like a silicone pad. And of course you get an owner's manual, sticker, and a registration card. We ended up getting ours from a company called Techno RV. They were super fast. I think Sue purchased it, I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, and it came with free UPS 2-day shipping, and it was here 2 days later. So cool. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to see about setting this thing up. I haven't done any programming. I've just read a little bit in the manual. It seems a little backwards to me, but we're going to go through it together. The one thing I did to be ahead of the curve is I wrote down my normal tire pressures on the truck. And then what they want you to do is they want you to put your low pressure warning 10% lower than that. So 63, 7.5, you're really testing my math now. 62.5.
That doesn't make sense.
Okay, Sue says that doesn't make sense, so we will get our calculator out.
Oh wait, yes it does, never mind.
So
He's better at math than I am.
75 times 0.9 is 67.5. So that's the pressures we're going to set in the programming, our low pressure. And that just makes it easier, I think, for me anyways, not to have to think about it when I get there. So the manual basically tells us set the following before pairing the sensors. So by default it's going to come to PSI. So we're going to turn this thing on. And heck, let's put it in our little stand. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. It's kind of dim. I don't know if it auto senses the light.
So on the screen of the camera, it looks like it's flashing. It does not do that in person.
Okay, see, it just brightened back up there. So we're going to leave the pressure units alone because it's set for PSI, and we don't even know what a bar is. Don't need to know. Temperature is set for Fahrenheit, which is what we know, so we're going to leave that. It says the high temperature alarm is set for 158 degrees Fahrenheit, and they do not recommend changing that, so we're going to leave that alone. So we're going to go set the low pressure. So what it tells us to do is press and hold set, which I have to see, I'm guessing this middle button. Press and hold set until it beeps. Okay, and then we're going to look for low pressure alarm. Low pressure set. Press and release set. Okay, front axle on the truck, we're going to go 63. And then we're going to go, I believe probably just press set again, but I'm going to read. Oh, go. See, I would have been wrong. And I'm going to go to the last axle on the truck. I don't know if it matters, but that's what we're going to do. As long as I remember which one I did when I programmed the sensors, right? Ooh. And it doesn't go in 0.5, so we're just going to go 67. Then we're going to go to the back of the camper. And we're going to go 63 psi. Which may be a little low. The maximum pressure on those tires is 80. I think I'm probably going to run 70 in them for now because they are one load rating above what we needed. Okay, so we're done there. So, for trailers, follow your tire and blah blah blah. So I don't know if we just press go again. Doesn't really tell us how to get out of this.
Probably the back button.
The other menus do say to press the back button to go back to the main screen. Okay, high pressure alarm, I don't think we're going to worry about. And now it's time to program sensors. So now we go learn ID. Okay, so here's where I'm going to do just a touch of reading. So let me read this couple paragraphs real quick and we'll come right back just so you guys don't have to sit here and watch smoke come out of my head. So this is sensor 3. So we're going to press set and then go, and then we're going to find sensor 3, and then we're going to press set again. And that's set. 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 Go. Set. And that's it. So we are now programmed. Although it's mad at me about something.
Because it has 0 psi. So
Oh, yeah.
it's telling you that your tire pressures are low.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. Sue's smarter than I am. Yeah, we're going to install one of these on the truck, and I'm not going to monkey with the brass nut, I don't think, because I'm not really worried about somebody stealing these. So let's go up to tire number 1 and watch Sue trip over the lift while she's walking backwards through the shop.
I'm being careful-ish.
And I believe, I could be wrong, but that it's really that simple. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to get the rest on the truck. We're going to figure out how to disable the trailer, and we're going to bring you back and show you what the display looks like when it's actually working correctly without, low pressure from the trailer. Alright, so a few trials and tribulations. We did figure out how to disable the trailer. You press 2 buttons at the same time and disables the trailer, and you press them again to bring it back on. It's different for the different models. One thing I have noticed with this is the instructions are not correct for programming the low pressure alarm. So you saw us program it earlier, and it says here to set the low pressure alarm, press and hold set until it beeps, press the plus button once to see low pressure set, press the set button, then press the go button to select the appropriate axle, use a plus and minus to adjust the low pressure alarm, press the go button to move to the next axle. and then that's kind of all it says. It doesn't really give you any more direction there. And if you press the back button like Sue mentioned earlier in the video, it doesn't save any of that programming, and that's why it was excuse me, that's why it was beeping low pressure and flashing and everything. So now you'll see it's not doing that. It's doing what we expect it to do, except for it hasn't found the driver's rear sensor yet. Seems to take a long time to find that sensor, but what it does is it's rotating through the 4 truck sensors, and I don't know if I can get it to brighten up for you. There we go. It's rotating through the 4 truck sensors right now, showing you the PSI and the temperature of each one. And if any one of those goes below the threshold, it will alarm. And see, now it's found the rear tire. So now if one of those sensors goes below, it should alarm. So if I go over here and unscrew the sensor and you guys watch that, we'll see how long it takes for it to think that there's a problem. So that would have been basically a catastrophic failure. I just pulled the sensor right off the valve stem. Okay, so it's not instant, but it's pretty fast. And that should stop alarming here in a minute once it gets a signal back. So as you saw, it's not instant. Like, you know, it took probably 5 or 10 seconds for it to alarm. But catastrophic failure, you're probably going to know. If you have a catastrophic tire failure that goes from 70-something PSI to 0 instantly, you're probably going to be aware that you had that. Most likely. I mean, I guess maybe if it's on the RV, you might not. But generally, what we're really worried about is slow leaks. The nail in the tire or something like that, and the pressure going down slowly while we're driving down the road, not really noticing it. And then the tire gets hot, and then it explodes. So that's kind of it. We'll of course bring you back and do a review after we make our trip to Pennsylvania and back. You know, the main curiosity here is, will we get any nuisance tripping, any false alarms? Will it tick me off to the point that I chuck that thing out the window? You know, because you got to be able to trust it, right? I mean, if it's always giving you false alarms, then we have a problem. And I think I showed you the repeater in the last video, but I can't remember now because I had to reshoot the last half of the video because I wasn't smart enough to know how to use the device because it was missing a step in the programming. So I'll show you again, and if I've already showed you once, I won't show you this, so you won't even know I was going through this. So the repeater goes on the front of the RV, or in the RV, and it hooks up to the 12-volt battery. It's got a fuse in it, so you don't have to fuse it. And it takes a signal from the camper tires and repeats it to this in the truck. It just boosts that signal up. And you can use your double-sided Velcro and put this in the front bay, or what they suggest too on fifth wheels is you can put this in the pin box, because the pin box usually has 12-volt power. We're probably going to try it in the front bay because that's where all of our 12 volts is, and we've got a fairly small fifth wheel, so I think that probably will be just fine. But if we find an issue, we'll bring you back and show you that. And yeah, that's about it. So I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and wrap this video up, and we'll bring you back and do a review on it after we've used it for 1 or 2 trips and let you know what we think. See if we can remember that we have to turn the trailer on and we hook up to the trailer. That's going to be a bit of a challenge, but I suspect if we just make it part of our checklist, we'll be fine. And that's something that, you know, if you guys are new to RVing, haven't done a lot of it, or just really getting going, checklists are an amazing thing because there's so many things to think about, especially like when we leave here for the winter for Florida. It's like, did we unplug the refrigerator? Did we do this? Did we do that? Did we shut that off? So we've made ourselves all these different checklists that we know, like when we hook onto the camper, you know, almost like a pilot flying a plane. You know, we go down through this list to make sure everything is done, and then we're confident to go. So that's one of the things that'll have to be added to that to make sure, you know, Sue will have to make sure when we get going that the trailer tires are flashing too and we're seeing them. But yeah, I think that's it. I think we're going to wrap this up. If you guys got any questions on the TST, we'll try our best to answer them. We are fairly new to it as well, but we'll all learn together. So thanks for watching.